I welcome everybody into this video. I welcome you very much. I make sure every single day you guys understand it. But guess what? Every single day you must understand that if you want to go really grow yourself daily, then what you need to do is understand every single day the empathy of life. I mean, guess what? I mean, what's a great design over here? I mean, what's the best design on this nice and beautiful string over here? Because of this. I mean, what's the best design out of this one? I mean, guess what? I mean, first of all, when you're looking at it like this, I mean, what's the best design? I mean, first of all, it's this kind of tip right here. It's the best design in the nice and beautiful actual design of the actual cable here. Is this little tip right here. But if I go like this, I mean, what's the best design now? I mean, right here. I mean, this one here is the best design. I mean, why is that? Because it's further from you. I mean, when the design is actually further from you, like this, then you can actually, then you can understand why I say that this over here, in terms of this design over here, is much more better than this design here. Because this one's further away from you. You understand? So that's something of a technique you have to learn. You have to learn all the time. If you want to go and grow yourself, you have to understand that my business card over here, I'll show you the best design of my business card right here. And if you look at the business card design over here, what's the best design card? I mean, what's the best design on this nice and beautiful card right here? I mean, guess what? I mean, you're unable to see this, but guess what, Portia? You can see something over here. You can see the best design on this actual cover front is the words. And that's the best design here. And the best design here is the words. Understand? Because the words is this whole thing. And this is the whole words, yeah? But that's amazing because I see something. And now, out of this all, out of all of this, what's the best design really? It's the letter I. And the letter I here is the best design out of everything that you see. Roshi, yeah? Roshi, now that's amazing, yeah? Roshi, now why is the letter I? Because the letter I is something that actually helps you. So those people who are actually dwelling upon a better way of life today and they're actually leveling themselves up today, they're looking for a better way of life. They're looking to help themselves. When they're looking to make sure they have all this nice and beautiful content for themselves in different ways, which the whole thing about life is enjoying yourself. But if you're enjoying yourself with the long distance of music production and you make long music production or you make a long life, then guess what, Brosha? Then you understand the music that's a short music. Because when you make long music, then you understand short music. But if you make short music only, then you never understand long music. The best way to understand a better life is to make sure that you're talking more. So anybody who talks more, especially me, I probably should understand straight away to learn much more. I learn much more about everything. I understand that no matter what. As you can see behind me over here, I have some nice. You can see my dog's right there, and my dogs are sleeping on the floor. Complete bliss and silence over here to be able to go and do my work. That's how a woman needs to be. Fucking just like that. Understand? Because that's how everybody needs to be. Just let me talk, man. And just let me do my career. Just let me be me. But never ever talk to other people. Never ever try to talk to other people. I understand today, in terms of earlier, today I was trying to ask my dad, in terms of my biological dad, to come and really listen to our music. They said no. That's what happens when you actually ask somebody else. They're saying no. Somebody out there is saying no to you. Because you're asking them. You never ask them in the first place. And then you never get a no in the first place. We never talk to other people through words. Never ever try to send them anything. But guess what, Brosh? If you send them something, then guess what I learned today? That you can go and sending all this content online while speaking more content and words. You can inspire people like this if you want to. You have more than enough time to do whatever you want to do. But focus on yourself and delay gratification, but make sure that you understand to place everything into Mega Drive and just do your content and do your music. That's much better for you. Or to show them even more in one. You understand? Because that way you're understanding that as soon as you upload to YouTube, they can watch you daily. They can watch you and what you're doing daily. In a sense, so what I do daily is understand that the more events I make online, the better for me. I'm understanding that no matter what, that I'm always lifting myself, regardless of what I'm doing. So I'm making sure that no matter what, that whoever's watching this video has a nice and beautiful value package content every single day from me. And making sure I'm leveling myself daily. I'm making sure I'm doing content regarding something that's helping me move forward. But what helps me move forward is a better way. Just 3 days ago, I was doing of Dinotopia. I mean, 2 days ago I was doing a Zonify. I mean, 1 day ago, and just today, I'm doing, and I've done already, a Thou Shalt Never Kill. I have 3 EPs, and I made 9-minute mixes on each one. I made 3-minute mixes of chill mixes on each one. I made 3-minute energy mixes on each one. I made 3-minute encore mixes on each one. I made mini mixes of each one. I made 6-minute mixes of each one. I made 9-minute mixes of each one. I made all these nice and beautiful mashups as well to go with it. And that's all my album. And now my album is actually coming strong now. But it's my first album. And now the first album is the best one. You understand? Rosh, that's it. Rosh, always the first aspect of life is the best way. Rosh, you must understand. So if you understand straight away how you go grow yourself, grow yourself definitely every single day through speaking the words, and make sure that you're encouraging people through words today to enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself quickly, and just go and read synonyms every single day, and read and rhyme words together every single day, and then you have no problems every single day. And then you're learning something along the way, and you're learning how to become that nice and beautiful individual every single day. I mean, you're making sure every single day you have more enough success and more vibrancy every single day to go and be alive, to be a star, to be making sure that you understand that Jesus Christ says, be a star, be someone who understands how to live life. I mean, live life in different ways. And make sure you have all the time in the world for everything. I mean, that's what you need to do. I mean, if you want to understand anything about life, you have to understand how it feels to be much more. I understand dogs love to be on carpet more than on the grass, but do they really? Actually, it's much more how I feel that dogs, I ask Jesus Christ, actually, dogs love to be on grass more. I love to be on grass more than carpet. For sure, though, when it's couch and carpet, I love to be on the grass more. I can see that. For sure, Jesus Christ is on the grass is always, man. For sure, they're made in the grass, man. You know what I'm saying? For sure, it's much more how you have to feel much greater. I mean, you have to understand straight away that you can feel the tendency to be alive. And anybody who feels alive daily, you can see that you have to go and grow yourself, yeah? You have to learn different scenarios of life. I mean, it's ask and you shall receive. I mean, learn to speak questions. I mean, learn to understand that you need to grow yourself differently, and you need to make sure that you understand. I've been here in Sydney, but I'm never stuck. I'm never stuck because I've been around Australia, and I see what's around Australia already. But I see a better way. I see something new for me. I see I have already, let's say, some time over here to make sure I have 4 days to go to one big seminar coming up. But it's my small seminar, which that's a small seminar for me. I mean, guess what? It's one of the biggest ones I've ever made, though. Which is the biggest seminar I've ever made, but it's a small seminar, which I can do much better than that. I can get 10,000 people to watch me. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I have more coming. But the thing is, every single day, what I want to do is I have to start somewhere, yeah? I have to start somewhere. I have to start my first seminar, then I have to roll my second seminar, and I have to roll my third one, and start really slowly to improve myself and to level myself and to make sure I have more enough success every single day to enjoy my life and to use my fingers, because fingers talk. And the more I use fingers and whatever I want out of life, and the more I use my body to encourage myself to grow, to learn, I mean, guess what? I mean, just enjoy. I mean, enjoy yourself in different ways and learn how to eat. I mean, if you can see my ideas over here, I mean, you can see my nice and beautiful food there. And that's an idea. I mean, that's just one idea of what you can do. I mean, but that everybody's different. Everybody's different. I mean, we're always making sure that no matter what, that I have to give out my business cards over here. I have 500 business cards to give out before the 28th of May. So I have 4 days to give 500 business cards. And I'm giving more than that anyway. But making sure that no matter what, I have plenty of time to increase my product every single day, to go and do something to make up for what I'm doing, to make sure that no matter what, that everybody is nice and beautiful for me every single day. So what I want to do all the time is make sure that my life is getting ahead of me. And as I'm getting ahead of life, I'm looking for the words to say in different ways. I'm looking to inspire myself differently. I'm making sure I'm moving ahead of the content with music production today, especially. And everything. Just life coaching and audio content. I mean, all day long I've been speaking. Audio content. I've been speaking all day long. Life coaching while doing my music production. I mean, I'm faster than ever doing music production. I'm faster than ever doing everything. And as I do everything, I'm making all these audios. I'm making everything as I can to teach you as much as I can. So as I teach you, I teach myself success. I give you the ideas, but I'm teaching myself how to succeed. And that's the thing, yeah. I mean, as I really, really grow myself differently, I make sure I have all the time in the world. I never need them to listen to my music. I never need their words. I never need them to be alive. I never need them to be alive. I want to get away from them as much as possible. I want to get away from them as much as possible. You understand? I never need to be around my biological father. I never need to be around other people at all. I mean, I only need to be around them when I give them money. I only need to be around them when I get money. But that's the only time I'll be around them then. But the thing is, I have to move in a better direction anyway. I need to go around the world anyway. I need to go and make sure that I have more than enough success. So what I do is I color the world with stars. I color the world with all the oysters of life. I color the world with all the magnetism of life. I color the world with all the nice and beautiful juice of life. I color the world with all the nice and beautiful words of life. Roshi, words is everything. Roshi, the words of life is something that is better than Sudoku, and words is better than chess, and words is better than poker, and words is better than your girlfriend. Roshi, words is better than your husband. Roshi, words is better than who you have in your life. Roshi, words is better than pleasure. Roshi, every single day, if you learn how to be a star for yourself, and you learn how to grab the spotlight, day in and day out, Roshi, eventually you're nightclubbing as a DJ, and eventually you're fucking traveling the world as a life coach and a DJ, and an international artist now. I'm an international artist for the first time in my life. And guess what? I mean, it feels great. I love it. I mean, back then in 2013, I was listening to Icon hardstyle music. I was like, oh. Well, I want to make some hardstyle music as well, man. I actually want to make some hardstyle music, but guess what? Actually, it's more how I feel. But as I really grow myself differently, making sure that no matter what, I'm learning very quickly upon how to be much more empathy and everything. But to sing everything, just life, understand all of I. Russia, singing is a different career. I love it. Russia, if you want to sing in your music tracks, then you have more to do. There's so much more to do than here. But there's an album EP that I want to make eventually. That's like a balanced album of the album and burns, but different. And I just want to fucking dun 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 dun. Russia, fucking, and then fucking just sing something. I mean, so when I sing something differently, I just go and make a beat and enjoy myself differently. But I can do rapping too. I can do some rapping too. And as I do some rapping here and there, I'm learning something different. I'm learning how to go and grow myself differently. I have all this music that I have to listen to over and over again. I understand, but my MP3 player and everything my MP3 players in terms of my phones can do is not enough. I have already MP3 players and all that in my phones. And all I want to do is find an MP3 player that works for me. That's it. As soon as I understand that, it's more how I feel. I feel that no matter what, I'm learning how to go and summarize something greater for myself in different ways, to use new technology and to make myself much better. But I remember when I was having those CD players before. I had a CD player before. And I was going around getting people's albums and listening to the albums in my CD player. I remember those days. But life's moving forward quickly, and life and technology is coming up, and new stuff, and something's happening. I mean, something's happening around the world. I understand they're going nightclubbing today. I mean, they're going nightclubbing on Friday and Saturday, but now it's a Sunday, man. I mean, now it's a Monday. There you go. I mean, just recently it was a Friday and Saturday. I mean, for me, it's just like any other day. I have nothing to do with nightclubs and festivals unless I'm a DJ. I never go there unless I'm on the DJ day. I'm DJing on the day, and I can just fucking step on the crowd and on the floor and just listen to someone. So let's say I'm DJing and then I'm remembering. I mean, guess what? I mean, either way. But guess what? That's the way, yeah. Then I watch I'm remembering on the dance floor. After that, I have no worries with that. I mean, then I'm remembering can watch me as I headline. I mean, that's it. I mean, every single day he has to see me in life. He has to see me because I have some music to play. Although there's a big difference between my 9-minute music and my hours and hours of music I made. In terms of around 1 hour music. And now what's the difference? With my 9-minute music, from that point of view, if I just made 3-minute and 6-minute and 9-minute music, I see this, I see a difference. See, they have many hours of music here. I mean, they have many hours of music, but I see my EP3, I see 3 EPs, I see small tracks here and there. They're like gods at this point. But when I bring in my 1 hour music and 4 hour music and my I zonify and I shall never kill and I don't turn. If I bring in 3 tracks that is Thou Shalt Never Kill and Ozonify and Adonotopia together. I pasted together, and now it's 7 hours of music. Actually now, just with those 3 EPs, actually now see them, actually now I'm much better than them. Actually just with 3 tracks. I mean, why is that? Because I have 7 hours of music in 3 tracks, but they have yet to do 7 hours of music. You understand? Actually, yeah. Actually, guess what? Actually, if I show you just 3 EPs of 9-minute music each, actually they have much better music. Because it's not much better music, but they have more music than me, and that's the thing. And now, I'm something much bigger, because they have to see this. And have to see that there's somebody more who's doing much more music than them. And what I do now is I focus on making sure that I have more enough time right now to succeed differently. I'm using a Lenovo laptop and Windows laptop now. There's a big difference, and I can see the difference that all music producers have to do right now is make 1 hour music, and 2 hour music, and 3 hour music, and 4 hour music, and 5 hour music. And if you can put a composition together that's 5 hours long, and you can make it sound great, actually now you've learned a whole bunch of music production in that. Because by the time somebody makes 180 tracks of 3 minutes each, 180 tracks of in terms of 3 minutes each, guess what? It's already 2 years gone. But you can, you can make a 5 hour track in less than a month. But they have to make 180 tracks in 2 years, mate, to get to 5 hour music. But if you get to 5 hour music in less than a month by just making 1 track, understand? And that 5 hour music set, play around the world. 5 hours of music, play around the world. That's your name or your full name for the whole night. Adonotopia is 4.5 hours, and around 4.5 hours of music. Danny Miller Voyage presents Adonotopia. And that's just one night. 4.5 hours of Danny Miller Voyage with Adonotopia. People give me money to just see that. That's all one track. I just go around Japan and Tokyo and Hong Kong and China and all around the world playing just fucking one set, which is 4.5 hours. I'm loving life, yeah? I'm loving life. But I want to do more than that. I have Ozonify too, and Adonotopia. And Danny Miller Voyage presents Adonotopia with Ozonify. But I just say Adonotopia. I'm pretty sure though. Then I add Thou Shalt Never Kill, and it's a 7 hour set now. And that's a 7 hour set. Let's go around the world and spin 7 hour set everywhere. That's it. And then along the way, I make new music. In a sense, so anyway, that's my EP albums are coming along. I'm enjoying my life. I have something new. I want to keep going. I want to just let it be now. I'm successful regardless of them. I'm enjoying myself, but now, depending on what's happening on the 28th of May, I make sure I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best job that I can with what I have. I make sure, regardless of what's happening around the world, I'm way ahead of them. I'm way ahead of the game, And the 6 years until Social Security goes away, but I make $20,000 a month. I make $20,000 a month, or they make $20,000 a year. For sure, I guess what anyway, what I do now is I grow myself, yeah? I grow myself differently. Look at my dog over here. You can see my dogs, yeah? Or here, he's doing something different. You can see Bundy. And Bundy's awake. I'm learning something different, yeah? I'm learning to understand that as I grow myself, I learn to appreciate silence and non-human animals. I cover them with the nice and beautiful page over here, which is the nice and beautiful blanket. I just enjoy myself. I enjoy something different. I enjoy something new. I'm enjoying the nice and beautiful aspects of life. What is the best design over here on this nice and beautiful way of life over here? So if we look at the design over here, like this, what's the best design here? For you, it has to be this little dot That's, I mean, that little dot has to be the best design of the actual bowl. And I mean, why is the actual best design this? Because it's the smallest detail. I mean, the smallest detail wins in this. Understand? Roshu, that's the best design for you. Roshu, now, what is the best design on Danny Milivojevich's face? Roshu? I mean, it's the tip of my eyelashes. Roshu, it's the tip of my eyelashes. Understand? Roshu, everybody's face and your face. Roshu, the best design on your face right now is the tip of your eyelashes. Roshu, your eyelashes tips, in terms of your eyelashes, and the tips of your eyelashes is the best design on your face. And why is that? It's the smallest particle in the detail on your face. And look at that. And that's the best design you'll ever see of Danny Milivojevic, man. High five there. And yeah, that's inspirational, yeah. For sure, guess what? For sure, every single day, learn. I mean, learn how to understand. Look how small my detail is. Yeah. I mean, where's the eyelashes? I mean, look how big I am to the eyelashes, man. I mean, look how big I am toward the eyelashes. I mean, yeah. Did you see that? I mean, it's amazing, yeah. I mean, I'm huge. I mean, comparing it with that little detail. I mean, how'd you find that? I mean, I look for the smallest details and everything. But look at this. I mean, what's the best detail in this? I mean, the best detail here has to be that curve. And it has to be this curve. And that curve there. Because it's the furthest away from you. It's the furthest away from you. And that's the best detail on the actual bottle. Is that little curve up there. Just at the corner over here. Right there. And that little curve is the best detail of the bottle. And why is that? Because it's a thin line. It's a little thin line, like a hair strand. It's like a hair strand. I mean, you understand the little hair strand? For sure. But when you look at the horizon of the beach, I mean, what's the best scenery there? First, it's that line, which is the line there on the beach, is the best detail. You see you see the big clouds over the top, and you see the ocean, but then you see a line over there. First, that line is the best detail. That line is the best detail. I promise you that you've seen that. I promise you that you've seen one of those lines at the beaches somewhere. I promise you, although when you look at the mountains, look at the rocks at the mountains, mate. I mean, there's a mountain over here. I want to show you this mountain over here. Look at this mountain. I mean, you see this mountain? There's a mountain here, but the rocks here. And there's rocks. They're the smallest details, man. Hold on. Wait a second. Yeah. I mean, look how big I mean, that mountain's huge to the rocks, mate. I mean, you see the rocks? And the rocks on the mountain is the best design on the mountain. I mean, why? Because the actual rocks of the mountain is the smallest on the mountain. Yeah. Now, what's even better is you can see that. I mean, you can see the whole fucking mountain over here. I mean, you can see that no matter what, you can see this. And this, look at this. I'll show you the mountain over here. I'll show you this. I mean, yes, the whole thing is beautiful, but look at the rock. There's a rock there, I promise you. There's some rock there, but what's the furthest away from you right now? I mean, what's the furthest away from you in this photo? I promise you, it's that little small rock. It's a little small rock, mate. I promise you. It's that small away from you. You see that? Yeah. And that little small rock, but everything else is the horizon. Did you see? I mean, just rewind the video. I mean, guess what, promise you, now you say, whoa. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's how it is, yeah. For sure, guess what, promise you, every single day, learn how to go and become much more, yeah. For sure, whatever's furthest away from you is the best detail. And why is that? Because anything that's the furthest away from you is something that really grows you. Understand? So when we're looking at the nice and beautiful pictures of anything, you have to focus on making sure that you have more enough success all the time to make sure that you're growing. And you have to be growing yourself differently, and you make sure all the time you're looking for better ways of improving yourself daily. I mean, you have to understand that the best design on the dogs, I mean, the best design on my dog over here, I mean, guess what? I mean, the best design on the dog is the actual fur on the head right here. Specifically, I love it. I mean, specifically right on the head is the fur, and that fur on the head of the dog. I mean, that hair on the dog, on the hair, I mean, right here, is the best design, because that hair on the head of the dog, I mean, there, look at that. I mean, right here, this hair, so that's the best design of the dog right here. I'll show you this. I mean, as I go and grow myself quickly, I mean, you can see my dog over here. You can see that dog has nice and beautiful hair here. You can see that hair. You see that hair there? And that hair there is such thin hair, man. But I mean, guess what? I mean, look. I mean, see that little tip there? And that little tip there is, and that little tip is the best design on that. And there's a little tip there. There's a little hair, and that there is the best design there. I found it. I found the actual design. Oh, and that little hair that's pointing out like a whisker. I mean, just like a little eyebrow in terms of the nice beautiful eyelashes. And that little tip is the best design on that dog, mate. I mean, and then I look at how big that little tip is to the dog. I mean, look at. I mean, the dog's huge, mate. I mean, to that little tip there, which the dog is fucking huge toward that. It's the furthest away. It's the furthest away from you. Yeah. Did you see it? I mean, my eyelashes is the furthest away from you. Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, my eyelashes is the furthest away from you right now. It's the best design. I realize that little whisker from the dog is the furthest away from you. And something that you never even fucking see sometimes. You have to see, always. I mean, most people bypass that whisker. They see the fucking fur and they see the colours of the dog. They look at the colours. They love the colours. They love the colours. And yes, love the colours. But that's in your face, man. That's in your face, man. But that little whisker, mate, is never in your face, is it? Whereas that little whisker is the most blissful experience of that dog, mate. Especially because that is the design of the dog. That's the design. I mean, that little particle made the dog. Or should this little particle here made Danny Milivojevic. I have everything. I mean, guess what? I realize although that if you look at me, I mean, what word is the closest to Danny Milivojevic? I. I is always the closest. I mean, no other letter can defeat I. I'm never the word O, I'm the word I. I mean, that's even closer. I mean, there's a massive room here, but look at my room. I mean, my room is all over the place. I mean, what's the best design for me, really, around here? I mean, you can see the room I live in. I mean, it's a massive room. But how massive is that room comparing it to the word I? Ooh. I showed you a new dimension, yeah? I live in the word I. I never live in that box that you see. I live in the little word I. But how big is the little word I? I mean, it can be as little as you want it to be, yeah? I mean, little word I. For I love you. I mean, compared to a little word I, to this whole fucking room, man. I live in the word I. I live in the word I, man. I mean, so what's the best design of the room? I mean, it's the little word I. I mean, what's the best design in the world? I mean, it's the little word I. And the little word I is who I am. I mean, that's who you are. I mean, you're the little word I in the whole world. And look how big the world is. But look how big the word I is. And the word I mean, that's where your success is. I mean, the closer way is success. I mean, do you believe Jesus Christ goes the longer way to success to find the word I, or the closer way to find the word I? I mean, the closer I am to the word I mean, the word I is here, but the longer you way from, I mean, the longer you go through that way, I mean, the longer way is never the way, is it? I mean, how can you find the word I the longer way? I mean, you can only find the way through the word I, but how can you find the word I through the closer way? I only. I is how. I although say that this is nice and beautiful, that many of you are becoming more aware now because I understand Jesus Christ can see. I realize though that what you do is you never go the longer way to find the word I mean, you go the closer way to find the word I mean, you go the closer way to success. I mean, where is it? I only. I is the closer way to success. I am the way, Jesus Christ said. I am the way. But Jesus Christ said, never am the way I. But Jesus Christ said, I am the way. And I mean, the first letter is I, mate. You understand? So if you understand straight away the nice and beautiful design of this photo, for example, show you this photo over here. So if we're in this photo over here, we look at the best design over here. I mean, look, the smallest detail over here. I mean, I can show you the best design over here is something to do with a nice and beautiful photo over here. So I'll show you something. I can see already that nice and beautiful way of life over here. Whereas it's more how I can see straight away how I can feel the tug over here. But it's more how I see that there's a nice and beautiful painting over here. And now the smallest details on this nice and beautiful photo is over here. There's a small detail here. I mean, look at the small details. And the small details are around here. And there's small details here. And there is some small details here. And here. And here. And small details right here. I mean, oh, and that was the best design. I mean, right here. Do you see that small detail right here? I mean, look at that. And that little feather right here. That's the smallest design. That's the furthest away from you. And right here. I mean, this is closer to you. I mean, what's further away from you? I mean, is it that or is it this? I mean, this is further away from you, yeah. That's the best design so far. But look over here. And what's further away from you? I mean, look. I mean, if you look at that right here, I mean, that wins. There's a small design here. What's even further is even this one here. And you see the tip right here? There's a tip right there. And if you have to choose really, then it's this one here. There's a small design there. And that's the best design of the photo. I mean, this whole picture is telling you that the design of the best designed photo, right? And that design there is the best one. And that's the furthest one out. I mean, you can see it. And that's closer than that. And that one there is all the way over there. And that's a tip over there. And that's a tip. And the same, although that design here is much better than that design. Because that one's further out. But this one's even further out, mate. And the same, so where is the best design, mate? And the best design is the furthest one out, mate. And if you look at the design over here, what's the best design over here? I'll show you something now. And look at that. That's fucking beautiful, man. And wow. And right in the center, mate. Did you see it? And such a beautiful photo. I've had this photo for a long time. I promise you though, guess what? Actually, there's another design. I want to show you something. I want to show you something about this photo here. I want to show you this way. If you look at that, I mean, let's say, without this. Let's just say without this. And you can see that is also the best photo. But guess what? I mean, let it be. But you can see this over here. When you can see these lines, you can see this line here, and that design there is something that you have to understand. And that little signature there is the best design of this. You understand? And that little signature there is the best design of this fucking photo, mate. Because without that fucking signature, mate, there is no photo of this. You understand? I mean, that signature is even closer to the design that you're looking for. But if you're looking at the photo itself, then it's fucking that little fucking in the middle. There's that tear in the eye. You understand? I mean, the eye has a tear. Eye. I mean, that's coming from the eye, mate. I mean, look at the eye. It's coming from the eye. I mean, the eye is something right here, man. I mean, this guy's looking you right in the eye, mate. Look at that photo. I mean, that's something. I can show you something. I'll show you. I mean, this one here, because I know my word eye, mate. I mean, you're the letter I. I mean, you're the letter I. But look how he eye. I mean, he's looking at you at the eye, mate. He's looking right in the eye. And this one is crying from the eye as well. And then this one is the furthest away. And that's the furthest away. I mean, now, because that's the furthest away from the eye, I mean, guess what? I mean, that leads you straight into the eye. Because that's the best design. So if you look at the small little particle of the eye, so as I've shown you, it's a big world. It's a big world, yeah? But the word eye is where you want to be. The word eye is the best design of this whole world. I mean, the little word eye. But that little signature there leads you straight to the word eye. I mean, I said, and why? I mean, why is that? I mean, because that signature goes into somebody who has the word I. And that's why. And that's the best design. So that's something beautiful. But let's have a look at this painting here. I mean, this painting here is such a beautiful painting here. I'll show you the best design on this one over here. I can see the small details in the shades. I'm a Jesus Christ too, so I'll show you now. You can see the best design over here. I can already see it. I can see the best design now. And it's more how you never even realize it. I mean, where do you believe it? I mean, where do you believe the actual design is? I can actually see it. I mean, if I stand over here, and look at it, first, it's more how I feel. And how I feel that the furthest design from this, now, there's a big difference. I asked Jesus Christ to see where the first design here. Where's the first design in this one, man? When Jesus Christ says, I mean, what's further? I mean, is that side further to you, or is that side further to you? It has to be that side, huh? Alright, although, I mean, look closer. I mean, look closer. I mean, look closer. I mean, that's the best design, man. I mean, honest. When you see the eyelashes? Eyelashes. Eyelashes. I mean, it's always the eye, yeah? I mean, wow. I can just see that now. And the eyelashes are the best design on that photo, man. I mean, just like I said, yeah? But now I realize these photos, I've learnt the photos of these ones. Oh, I grew up this way, man. That's beautiful. Like, the beautiful paintings, huh? I mean, guess what? I mean, anyway. Which that led me to the word I, promise. Or sure, though, guess what? Promise, no. Guess what? Which that's showing me the way. Or she's showing me the way, definitely. I mean, every single fucking particle here is showing me the way to the word I. I have to be aware of it. So what I do is I'm going to show you right now. You guys can see much more color, yeah? You can see much more color about designs in this video. I've taught you some nice and beautiful designs on the video. But if I show you anything about this nice and beautiful color, that even though this nice and beautiful tip of the actual photo right here, and that tip right now, and you can see that one just as a paper is the furthest away from you, yeah? As a paper, that is the furthest design, and that is the best design of the paper. But on the paper, guess what? The word I is even further. And that word I is even further than that. Do you see how do you see how much further that is? And you guys can see the word I is further than that. Understand? I realize although, guess what? These letters can never defeat the word I. Understand? These letters may be smaller in comparison, but the word I is further than these ones. Not sure why. How can the word I be further? And the word I is closer in this section to who you are. Closer, yeah? The word I is always closer and never further. Do you see that? Guess what? I'm learning something. So, these nice and beautiful words, we can already read what that is. What is these words, man? And that's the word I, though. That's the direction of who you are. You are the word I. Understand? Some of you are aware of yourself in this video, but that's how it is, yeah. If you see that, look at this. What's the best design over here? Look at that. Look at that. That little dot is the furthest away. That little dot right there is the furthest away from the actual what you're looking at. From that design. From the actual head of the fan and the fan inside. Look at that. And that little dot is the furthest away from everything you see there. I'm leading you directly to. I'm leading you directly to the word I. That is furthest away. You can see. That's the best design. I realize although if you see from here, if you see that there, whereas that there is the best design, mate. Whereas that there, so that corner there is the best design, mate. But is it really? For sure, I promise you that I may see a tip over here, for example. For sure. Although, guess what? For sure. No, I want to see that. For sure. There can be a tip there as well. Understand? But the thing is, you can see now. It's one of those. Although this one is more likely, I can see much better this one. Understand? But that's how you have to learn. You have to learn design and graphics like this. You have to. You guys have to understand straight away that I'm learning as well on the go. I realize if I show you this car, and if I show you that image there, that image, straight away, you guys can see that the nice and beautiful way of life over here is what. It's really that you understand that. Without anything on there, but guess what, bro? It's much more how that little tip there is the best design. Bro, that little tip there is the best design. Do you understand? Bro, you can see it. Also, guess what, bro? You must understand that if you're going and growing yourself every single day, then learn how to go and do Gregor for yourself, and understand it all the time. That now, since I've taught you guys how to go and see graphics, and check out my unknown mother nature, man. I look at those photos and I compare what the smallest design in those photos are. I look at those designs and I look at the smallest designs in those photos, and I'm having a blast, man. I look at this design, I see a design on this pillow over here, and in terms of that pillow, what's the best design here? Not the best design there. I can see, I see right there in terms of, right next to that, man. And right here, there's a little design there, man. I can see it. Huh. And there's a little design there. You never seen that coming. Understand? So the whole point is look at the nice little picture and be able to understand the design of the photos and what you're doing. But no matter what, you can see always a nice and beautiful way, yeah? That the furthest design is the best design. But the closer the eye, the better. You understand? Very sure. I mean, closer to your word eye to yourself, the better. You have to understand that. So teach people that the word I is the better way of life. And teach people that the word I is the better way of words. And teach people that the better way of life is the word I. And teach people that the word I is more than any other word, and more than life itself. I mean, you're no other word in the planet except I. I mean, that guy's looking in the eye, yeah? I mean, that woman's crying from the eye. I mean, that eyelash is next to eye. I mean, the eyelashes. That's my eyelashes. It's the best design. I mean, eye is white. I mean, look at where your eye is. I mean, Jesus said, never cut your eye out. I mean, Jesus said, never cut the eye out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love you. I mean, that's what Jesus Christ means, yeah? I mean, Jesus Christ means, I love you. I mean, never cut the word I out, so that you can say, I love you. I mean, you are the word I. I, thou shalt never kill. I respect father and mother. I never steal. I never murder. I first. I mean, do you understand who you are? I is who you are. I made all of you aware in this video. I promise you, that's why I'm understanding. I'm a teacher of the word I. I teach, I export the word I. I am somebody of an expert in the word I. I use the word I in the sentence of the first letter is the word I, and the last sentence is the word I. I mean, understand? But I use images to help you. I mean, you see how I use images to help you? But just in time. These photos just in time to teach you. Understand? Every single day, learn how to grow your eye. I mean, learn to understand your word I. Eyelashes. I mean, never cut the word I. I love you. I twinkle twinkle little star. I Australian anthem. Australian anthem. I mean, in the sense, so if you want to go and grow yourself there, I mean, if you want to grow yourself definitely, I have to create an Australian anthem of trance music. I mean, that's something big. Okay, if I do that, which is the biggest thing, and I have to do it. I can do it. I have da da da. I mean, guess what? I promise you, I get the whole melody. I get the whole melody, and guess what? I mean, around the melody, I spin it forward, and I produce that melody. And that's how I understand that I'm the only one who's doing it. I'm the best one ever. I promise you that every single time I'm learning something along the way to make sure I do it, because I want to challenge myself here too. But to be able to do that, I want to focus upon understanding that with this music section, it's a lifetime, man. I just let it be. I just kick it. I kick it and I make sure that no matter what, that I change it up in different ways and I make it long. Make it a long project. And expand it so wide to understand what works with that. I win. That's excellent. Jesus Christ understands the Australian anthem or the trance music. Australian anthem. Big tarp. I extend the Australian anthem to 10 hours. Make sure that I have more enough space and vigor every single day to focus upon helping my life to succeed, guys. So as I grow and grow myself daily, making sure I'm just charging my content here. So as I charge my content, I'm looking to see exactly what I'm doing. So no matter what, I'm looking to understand straight away that as I grow myself differently, I'm looking to enjoy my life. So that's the whole point, yeah? And the word I of this video is everything. I mean, what is the best word of this video? I. I is the best word. I mean, there's no other word better than I here. I'm pretty sure that every single day I'm learning. I'm learning how to grow myself. I'm learning how to become a star. I'm learning that I've come a long way. I've come a long way in life. I mean, you can see it. I can see that little shoelace design over here. I mean, look at this. This is a shoelace. I mean, look at that. I mean, what's the best design in that video? I mean, what's the best design here? Push the dots. I mean, which one's the furthest dot from you? Push that little dot there. Is the best design of the shoe. Which that's the best design of the shoe, mate. I mean, what's the best designing word in life? I. I is the best designing word. What do you think? I'm teaching you little aspects of life over here. I'm teaching you to understand. I can see straight away how that little design there is nice and beautiful. So as I'm looking at, for example, so if you look at the design of the actual thing there, unfortunately it's more how I feel. And I feel, I asked Jesus Christ, what's the best design there? Or is it the dot or is it the corner over there? Or Jesus Christ says the dot, versus that dot is even closer. Versus that dot is closer than the actual thing, man. Wish I can see it. I can see that fucking dot is even closer than that. I wish I know. Although Jesus Christ says that, I mean, that dot is closer, but it's further as well. I mean, it's further from that. I mean, do you guys see that? Wish that is further, mate. I mean, you see? I mean, guess what, bro? That dot is further than the corner. I mean, you see it? I mean, for fuck's sake. And you can see it. I mean, the dot is closer to you. So what? I mean, so what is further from you is also closer. I'm actually learning that. I mean, you can see the dot is closer to me, but further away. Whoa, yeah? I mean, yeah. That's amazing, yeah? I mean, what is closer is also further away. I mean, so that means that this little eyelashes is closer to me. I mean, this eyelashes is closer to the word I, but it's further away as well. I mean, guess what? I mean, look at my face. I mean, look at my face, yeah? I mean, the eyelashes is the furthest away, but it's the closest to the word I. I mean, that little dot is the closest to the word I, but furthest away. Look. I mean, look at that. I mean, look at it. I mean, it's closer to the word I, but it's further away. I mean, you see? I mean, it's furthest away. I mean, do you see that dot there is the furthest away in the design? I mean, it's the fucking furthest away. I mean, when you look at the thing, I mean, where do you look? I mean, you're more likely to look at the edges, but the dot is the furthest away. I mean, the dot is the furthest away of the design of that. I mean, how? I mean, you can see. I mean, you can see that the dot is by far further than that, but it's closer to the word I than that. You see it? You see it? I mean, that dot is closer to the word I than that. When Jesus Christ said, excellent then. Yeah. And guess what, bro? That's why I'm saying it's closer to the word I. It's closer to my eyelashes. Watch that little dot is closer to the word I and closer to my eyelashes. Yeah? Whereas my eyelashes is closer to the word I, which has to be the best design of my face. Watch the eyelashes and the tip. Understand? Because it's the furthest away. Watch the tips, the furthest away. I mean, look. I mean, what's the furthest away from you here? And the eyelashes are the furthest away. I mean, it's a little detour, which the little details, of my face is the furthest away. You understand? So it has to be the eyelashes. That's the furthest away, yeah? But what's the closest to the word I? Anything that's the furthest away is the closest to the word I. I mean, my eyelashes are closer to me than my eyelashes are closer to the word I than the eyebrows. I mean, what? I mean, I is here. I mean, what's the closest to my eye now? I. I mean, what's the closest to my word I here? I mean, what's the best design here now? I mean, what's the best design now around my face? I. the eye is the best design on your face. You understand? And let's look at this now. What's the best design on that now? On the eye. And the eye is the best design. And now, what's the best design here? It has to be the eyelashes. And it has to be the eyelashes. But no, I love eye. Eye is the best design, mate. I mean, what's the best design on her though? Broshi has to be the eyelashes on her. Broshi, what's the best design on this one? Broshi, what's Broshi on here? Broshi, the eye. I mean, what's the best design in the whole photo? Oh, I mean, it's right here. It has to be the word eye. Broshi, that's it. In the eye of the reindeer is the best design of the photo. What do you see? I'm learning something big here. What am I on my balls with that here? And here's the eye. His eye is the best design of the whole photo, mate. I mean, his eye. I mean, his eye is the best design. I mean, your eye, I mean, all in terms of life that you see that has an eye, is the best design, man. I mean, what's the best design? Look at this. I mean, this is where my eyes are gone. I mean, what's the best design on my face here? I mean, has to be my nose. Or else my nose is the best design here. I mean, my nose is closest to my eye here. I mean, my nose is the most attractive here. I mean, you see? I'm learning something big, yeah? I mean, you can see my eye. I mean, what's the closest to my word eye here? What's the closest to my word eye? Or is my eye the closest? Or is the eye the closest here? Or is the eye here? On his face. And that's where the word eye is, mate. You see? Oh, I mean, what's the best design on the dog? I mean, it's the eye, mate. And the word eyes. And the word eye is the best design. I mean, look at that. I mean, look at the eye, man. Eye. I mean, when they close their eyes, or should they use the eyelashes? Or should they place sunglasses on it? Or should they use the nose? Or should they cover their nose? Or should then? I mean, is my eyebrow closer to my eye, or is it my nose? Which has to be the eyebrow. Which has to be the eyebrow. But here, what else now? I mean, what's the first way? I mean, it has to be my nose right here. Or is my nose? But my eyebrows are gone from that. You see? And guess what? I mean, the nose is much further. Or is it? I mean, guess what? Wait, hold on. I mean, what's closer to my eye? I mean, is it the tip of my nose here? Or is it the eyebrow? I mean, the eyebrow is closer to my word eye. I mean, you can see it. I mean, the better design on my face here is the eyebrows than the nose. I mean, the eyebrows are closer to the word eye. I mean, the eyelashes are much more closer than the eyebrows. But the eye, and be careful to never pluck your eye out. I mean, the eye is much closer than the eyelashes. And what word are you? I is who you are. I is who you are.